All right, guys, we got a car here with the brand new brakes, as you can see right here. But the customer complains, car shakes when it brakes, going above 50 mile per hour. Too bad, too late. This brake has no lubrication whatsoever. We're gonna redo these. This is what happens when you don't do it properly. Here's the brake pads I took out from this side. Look at the meat on it. I'm sorry, guys. But if you look at the glare on this, I mean, the camera's not gonna pick it up. Okay, so what we're gonna do here to start off is we're gonna remove. As soon as I started, somebody showed up. So we're gonna take this ratchet. We're gonna bang this, and we're gonna bang these two bolts. So, if you got a Honda CR-V, this will be one way to take off your caliper. I've seen a lot of mistakes with brakes, a lot of mistakes. Usually it's rush, get the customer money and get it in and out. That's not what it should be. Okay, so you can rush, but give it some time. You know, you charge the customer hour and a half probably. Okay, okay, first of all, it's missing the hardware here. Okay, the pins. And secondly, there's no lubrication. It's so rough in here. Okay, it moves, but there's no lubrication. Not even lubrication in the back. No lubrication here. No lubrication here. Okay, so here it is. No lubrication. No lubrication. It's metal to metal. Okay, hardwares are fine. Okay, I'm gonna keep the hardwares on. Okay, so next step, I gotta go from the bottom to bolts on the bracket here. They're 19 millimeters. That's two. Okay, so the bracket is loose. So we're gonna prep the bracket right here in a little bit. Okay. You gotta take out the water. Oh, let's talk about. Okay, see, no lubrication whatsoever. No lubrication. Slider pins feel fine. They're nice and smooth, so slider pin was not issue here. Mainly the retainers he was missing, and a lack of lube on the. Okay, so this comes out pretty easy. So you see, if this bolt was super tight, this brake would have been there for a long time. I had to put no force there. Let's take off the rotor. There should be a lube behind it or some type of visual inspected greasing back there. If there's any. Let's move our camera right here. And can of worms. It's dry as bone. It's dry as bone, but it's clean. So what we're gonna do is, let's start the job the proper way. So once you have things removed, you want to take a wire brush, a buffer. If it looks really crusty and rusty, you want to make sure it's nice and clean. Since this is not so bad, wire brush will do. I also recommend just give this a touch, okay? Small little dirt and debris, and also on your caliper, both sides. That looks pretty good. Okay, so what about bracket? Let's prep our bracket right here because we're gonna spray all this baby down. So best thing is to observe your hardware. If it looks good, you don't need to touch it, okay? If it looks really bad, because touching and moving and things around, you might not be able to get it back in the spot, okay? There you go. There's a guy commented, he's told me when he watched my video and he said, oh, they give you new hardware, you gotta replace it, but he went and did it, and then he had other issues. The hardware started to touch, and he went back to the stock ones, and then it was better than the new ones. So you never want to touch your old stuff. So let me get some cleaner. Okay, so here it is. Spray this baby down. Spray your caliper down. Spray this baby down. And clean that off. Now we gotta get some new parts and start lubricating stuff. Okay, we're gonna start with lubrication. So take some type of grease that belongs with the brake system. I like to use two different grease. This is a very thin silicone based grease. I just, this is a test, even though it works the same way. I've been putting this, I want to see these cars come back next brake job. I want to see, because these things, they last a long time. I like it so far. So you want to put this on our hub. So I'm going to show you the second grease we're going to use as we go along. So put this around the hub. Now I'm going to go get the rotor, and we're going to put the rotor on. So here comes the rotor. So you do want to turn this and align the holes with the bolts that goes in through the hub. So that's how that goes. So you can't go wrong. We're gonna put this baby on. And that's job well done there so far. Okay, so we're gonna move back this way now. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to introduce you guys a very important particle, which all the mechanics forget. Another set of grease. That's all you need. What you need to do here is, let me get my little broken brush out of there. You need to take this greasing and just put a slight amount of grease right here. Slight amount of grease here. I'm going to use my finger. Okay, that brush is crappy, so just skim your finger right through it. It doesn't have to be crazy amount, okay? You don't want to put crazy amount. And again, we're still gonna put some greasing on the brake pads. So there you go. That's lubricated. Nice and well lubricated in there. Okay, don't need to put no more than that. Let me get a tissue. You put too much in there, if you're changing the hardware, put some greasing down below between the hardware and the bracket itself. So, time to take this bracket and put it on, and make sure you tighten it. So you're not gonna see me, because this job is not about how to tighten anything. It's all about just doing the greasing to avoid warp. Okay, so there it goes. So I'm gonna lock up the bolts. In the back end, if you got torque specs, I would torque it, but if you don't, that's fine. One, double check, okay? And there you go. Perfect. Okay, next step, I like to take out the slider pins, remove these slider pins, clean them, okay? If your slider pins are jammed up, I'll go deep in there, clean out all the greasing from the back end, but that's something that you should look into doing. But if you don't need to, if you think it's fine, just pushing on it, you can just observe it, because the slider pin actually comes out. It doesn't go all the way in as you press the brake pedal. So we're gonna do the same thing here, and make sure your rubber boot, once it's on, it clicks on. Do the same thing here, okay? Another thing, see this little guy right here? This absorbs vibration, plus it works like a little plunger. And it's usually, if the caliper's in the front, it's on the top, and if the caliper's in the back, it's in the bottom. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is because it needs to open up the front of the brake pad so the rotor can slide right through, and that will give it a less friction, and it'll be less heat on the rotor. Okay, there you go. A little bit more. And that's all we need. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. You don't want to put too much here either. Okay, so slip this baby on, and the boot should catch onto that. That's it. Now we're gonna go get our brake pads. All right, next step. Remember, we cleaned this end, we sprayed it down. Everything matters. Every little detail. We're gonna compress this piston. It's a dual piston caliper, but you see how smooth it goes just with one tool, or you could use 2C clamps. But there you go, we have that baby in. We're gonna let that sit there, and we're gonna go get some brake pads. Okay, now we got some brake pads here. So they're gonna give you this dummy looking bag in here. This dummy looking bag has a lot of stuff in it. forget the brake pads. We're gonna pay attention to the brake pads as we put them on. But inside here, they have this shit, okay? You gotta use this, okay? You're gonna see where this goes. It comes with 4 of these, okay? 2 for each side. Remember, we didn't use the hardware, but we are gonna use this because it's missing. Okay, so now I'm gonna just open the bag up as we go along, okay, for these brake pads. So let's open up these brake pads. I've never opened the brake pads in front of the camera. This would be the first time. I mean, I probably did stab them like that. And I hate this packaging. Anyways, brake pad, they're the same for the outer pad, but the inner pad is gonna have a brake wear indicator sensor like that. So if I use this brake pad, that brake wear indicator sensor goes in the bottom. I don't want that in the bottom, I want it on the top. So we're gonna use the other brake pad. And what we're gonna do here is, we're gonna use lubrication again, one more time. It's all about the lube. Lube here, guys. If your brake pad, because these are, see, I usually don't put brake lube on it until I try the brake pads on, okay? So I already have put lube there, so it's gonna make a mess anyway. So sometimes your brake pads won't sit properly, then you gotta file. You gotta file here. That's another thing, okay? If you need to file there, do so, because if your brake pad is not going in smooth, it's a trouble. Okay, let's put this in. I'm sure you guys can put the brake pads in. Okay, there you go. With one finger, look at that. One finger. That's how the brake pad's supposed to be. Take the second brake pad. I'm gonna get some greasing. Greasing here, greasing here. Very important. This was the reason why your brake pads and rotors gave up too quick. Okay, so the key here is I never had a car come back. If I did, it must have been something that got jammed, but other than that, I never had a car come back with the issue like this with the brand new brakes. Okay, so lube in the back of this pad is very important. You can put it on the caliper, but it's the same thing because the caliper is going to come and touch here anyway. So you can avoid the caliper. Okay. All right, so that's done. I'm going to clean my hands off. This job is just done pretty much. So the hard part, okay, getting these on. Okay, this is the reason why nobody puts these on, because it's hard to do it. So do yourself a favor. I'm gonna make this very easy for you guys. Take one of the bolts, put it onto the caliper so the caliper holds itself. Okay, that's all you need to do. Put one of the bolts there. You don't have to tighten it yet. You can tighten them together. Usually you will just remove one, okay? Because you can just do this. Anyways, I'm gonna come around. I'm gonna come around the other way, okay? I'm gonna make this very easy for you guys to understand this. Okay, so your hands are gonna get a little bit messy, that's fine. You're gonna put this baby on. Your brakes are gonna try to shoot out. You're gonna have to work some magic here now. The key, okay? We did one, we still gotta do one at the bottom. And that one's gonna be really trouble. If you can get a help from somebody, that's even better. But if you could do what I just did, you would be the king of the brakes. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Job well done, brake well done. Put your last bolt on. Make sure your line is not twisted. That's another issue I've seen. Okay, guys, thank you for watching my video. I'm gonna lock out both of these bolts. We're all done here. Lesson is learned. I still gotta tighten up these two, but finish out your job properly. Thank you for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you for watching this one, and bye-bye. After this, we should not have problem with the brakes for a long, long time till they're done.